Good evening, all. We so appreciate you being with us tonight. Just as Steve said, our clients do have compelling stories to tell, and in just a few minutes, you're going to hear some of them. But before we bring them up on the screen, I've got a little prologue for you. First, you're going to meet Danielle. Danielle is 36 years old. She has lived with physical, emotional, and sexual abuse her entire life. It began in her own family, and it continued for years with a violent husband. Danielle suffers with chronic medical conditions of pain, but the most severe pain she feels is an emotional one because she suffers from the most devastating loss that any one of us could ever experience. Next, you'll meet Amy and her therapy dog, Diamond. Amy's effervescent. She has got such a beautiful way about her, and maybe it's because she's an animal lover. But it's hard to believe that she slept outside the pet supermarket on Sunrise Boulevard and spent 2.5 years in the encampment up in Pompano Beach on Blount Road. 11 years ago, she was in a serious car accident and had back surgery. And what followed that surgery was not a recovery period. It was 9 years of living in hell with trying to survive on pain management drugs that ultimately didn't do anything to manage the pain, but managed to destroy her life. She lost her job, she lost her apartment, and then she lost the only person that ever loved her in her life, her mother, to a fatal stroke. Amy's an only child with no other family members. The only thing Amy didn't lose was her beloved dog, Diamond. Then you'll meet Alan. Alan was born with sickle cell anemia. According to medical research, only half of those born with this disease live into their 50s. Alan's 33 years old. He's been repeatedly hospitalized throughout his entire life. The constant hospitalizations led to a depression and to a belief that he could never achieve anything, much less take care of himself. Alan's going to show you in just a moment how really strong he is. And finally, you'll meet Phoebe. Phoebe and her 2 sons. Phoebe grew up in Broward. She went to high school at Whispering Pines, and she earned an associate's degree as a medical assistant. But growing up, she too was sexually abused at the hands of a family member, and she suffered violent domestic abuse at the hands of her son's father. Phoebe's a hard worker. She has always had a job. She has 2 beautiful boys, Leo, who's 12 years old, and Eddie, who's 9. Leo has severe juvenile epilepsy, PSTD, a learning disability, and is ADHD. He's homeschooled now because he was bullied so desperately at his school that she finally had to bring him home. And even when he was in school, there were no after-school programs that could take care because of his medical conditions. So with that, let's meet them.
It's incredible how hard it is to get on my feet, being a single mother, even with the help of you guys, which I'm so grateful for. If it wasn't for you guys, I don't even know where I would be right now. Still to this day, it's hard, it's a struggle. It's hard. Just coping and dealing with everything and trying to hold a job that meets my little one's the time he's in daycare and school. One thing I know is I can't give up. Just without this place, Broward Partnership, and the support, the activities they do with the children to kind of lighten and pillow the hardships that we are actually going through. They don't even know. The children don't even know, because all the children know is there's a playground right next to us and there's a dorm full of children his age. And that's another thing that is amazing, because my 6-year-old is the happiest. He's probably happier than a millionaire 6-year-old right now, you know. When my other child was 5 years old, this happened 5 years ago, his heart stopped on the playground at school. out of nowhere. He was all up to date on everything. And he lasted for 3.5 weeks in the hospital. He was going to get a heart transplant. They were waiting for the genetic testing to come back. A week before the genetic testing came back, he was in the hospital for 3.5 weeks. The BiVAD machine that he was on, it shot a blood clot in his brain and made him have a stroke, and he went brain dead. And ever since then, I left after my child passed away. I left their father after 18 years. He was very abusive for the whole 18 years on drugs. He beat me, did anything that you can imagine possible to me. I ended up leaving him after my son passed away because he made me I didn't want to live anymore. Just after seeing my son's empty bed, I finally got my own place. And Wyatt, my youngest son, was compromised when COVID hit because he has severe asthma. And he was in daycare at the time, and the daycare told me that he was a liability for them. So they couldn't watch him anymore. So I couldn't work. I didn't want to leave the house. I already had PTSD from losing one child. Like, I'll be damned if I'll lose another one. I literally stayed inside of the house for almost a year on my son's birthday and on his death day. Elijah, his name was Elijah. I actually had his name right here. I usually send up balloons, which I know it's not good for the atmosphere, but mentally, I guess, it feels like I'm sending a message up for him, celebrating him, you know. I'll usually have a cake for him, a birthday cake. And I'll let Wyatt, my youngest son, I'll let him blow out the candles and stuff. This year I can't afford to do that. Nothing. I can't even afford nothing right now because it's just life, you know. It's a lot. I'm extremely overwhelmed, but I know that I'm in the right place. I know that I have support if I need someone to talk to. I have a psychiatrist that I talk to here, a therapist, my case manager, you. Whenever I see you, I stop you. The RCs, everyone is just amazing. When I leave here, and I know probably everybody says this, but when I leave here, I will definitely never forget this place, and I will definitely be back here to help.
Hi, my name is Amy O'Hagan, and this is my dog Diamond. I'm 46, she's 9. It's my best friend. We're here at Broward Partnership right now. I've been here almost 6 months. I'm very excited to move on to the next chapter of my life. I want to go back to being a vet assistant. Right now I work at Dogtopia, at a doggy daycare, so I could bring my best friend to work with me. And we're doing good. We're doing good right now. I can't wait till we get our apartment soon. And, you know, we've been working and saving and really trying to think ahead. I literally grabbed my dog and 2 duffel bags, and I came to Fort Lauderdale. We were living in a tent, sorry. And for 2.5 years, we were living in a tent. We were kind of in an encampment. Unfortunately, I was involved in a very bad domestic situation. I had to get away. It was too bad. So I just said I was doing laundry and never went back. In June, it was a year, because I didn't know where to go, but I figured I had a dog and I was terrified somebody was gonna call animal control on me, even though she's so well taken care of. She has her shots, everything. You know what I mean? I'm never with her. I definitely don't play with that. And I was really scared that somebody was gonna hurt her to get to, I had nothing, but I have everything, you know what I mean? And I could have lost everything, which to me wasn't worth. So I said, you know what, my worst fear, I for some reason, even though I knew that I could come to a shelter with a service animal, I didn't know how people were gonna be, as far as there are people out there on the street with service animals, and you don't have to be. And that kept me on the street for a long time because I didn't want to give up on her. I'll never give up on her. And even being turned away from one program, you know, with a referral from task force, I said, you know, it doesn't mean anything. So I just, very motivating, very influential. I mean, really pushing me without pushing me. You know, wanted me, made me want to do better. Finally, I saw somebody believed in me, so I put it in myself, you know, and I felt that this time. So I'm very grateful now to be part of society again and, you know, feel like a human being almost. You know, took a lot to bounce back. She's snoring. I'm sorry. She's comfortable. I told you she loves it here. She does. We both sleep very good at night, which I can't tell you how much that means. It means a lot.
Well, I was born a sickle cell patient. And so throughout my life, even when I was a baby, I've had hospital visits in and out of the hospital. When I was in elementary and I tried to play sports with everybody else, my body wouldn't allow that. There were many instances where I would start hemorrhaging blood from my nose, having nosebleeds. I'm going through sickle cell crisis. I work at guest services at the Riverside Hotel on Los Olos Boulevard. But recently in March, I was awarded Employee of the Month. Like, when I got this, when my manager told me that I was nominated for Employee of the Month, I was like, no way, no way. And just talking to each other, and then they began to announce the winner. I held my head down and silent like this. And they said my name. I'm like, no way, no way. It's almost like them acknowledging how far I've come. And it was largely due to Broward Partnership. I cannot thank them enough. I wouldn't even be there. I wouldn't even be here at Riverside Hotel if it wasn't for Broward. I would even argue that I'm in a cool position with the CEO of the company, Heikos, because of my disabilities. But everybody foster like an environment that allowed me to grow in spite of that. Life is hard. It's harsh. It's beautiful. It's very beautiful, but it is very harsh at the same time. I've made leaps. Like, I can't believe the amount I have evolved since being with Broward. First, it starts with the respect of the individuals that I have for Broward Partnership. Because I even have it on my phone of a New Year's resolution list that I have. And at the bottom of it, it was pay back Broward Partnership in some shape or form in the future.
Hi, my name is Phoebe. Nice to meet you. Having to take care of a child, you know, that has epilepsy, and he's ADHD. On top of that, now he has PTSD. It's been really hard for me. And I'm trying to balance everything with that. And having my other son is like a balance because he calms me down. He's actually, every time his brother has seizures, he's actually more calm than I am. Like, it's nothing to him. Like, he's done this. And since he was 3 years old, his brother's been looking out for his big brother. Yeah, and he's like a parent pretty much. And he's been a great help and everything. You know, even though you make mistakes, you're still super mom. And they understand everything, and they appreciate that I didn't want to be here no more. If I didn't have them, I would have not been here celebrating this year, my 34th birthday in September. They're my reason I keep moving forward and trying to look for the positive and pushing myself to do the most for them and do myself better as well. They're the reason, truly. That was my biggest fear, is to lose them.
Danielle, Amy, Alan, and Phoebe, just as we said earlier, these stories were all different, but in the end, they're all the same. They all believe in each other now. And it's that belief and that confidence that gave them the ability to speak with you tonight. They had the courage because they felt safe. Danielle can't afford to send balloons up for her son, but she wants to come back here and volunteer. Amy wants to set an example for the rest of the community about having a therapy dog in a shelter. Alan wants to pay it forward, and Phoebe wants to be a supermom. Hopefully, you can help us tonight to continue to build their futures and those of all the men, women, and children that we take care of. Whether we're trying to get Leo to his doctor's appointments or to get Alan off to work at Riverside Hotel, none of our clients can afford a car, much less car insurance and gas. They all need transportation, so please, with a donation of $250 to $500, we can get them between 6 months to a year's worth of bus passes. Please let us know that you can help us by raising your hands tonight. Please let us see those hands. And with a donation of $1,000 to $2,000, that's enough to get an apartment furnished for Amy and Alan. You can get them some pots, some pans, some dishes, a TV, and maybe we can even get a dog bed for Diamond. Please let us see your hands so that you can tell us that you're willing to help us tonight. Danielle said it. She said Wyatt is the happiest 6-year-old in the world living in a homeless shelter with a bunch of kids her his own age. He's happier than the son of a millionaire. They need a home. All of our families need a home. They may have a housing voucher or they may have a job like Alan, but they don't have first, last, and security in order to get into an apartment. And that's what it's going to take. So with a donation of $3,000 to $5,000, we can move them into an apartment with that first, last, and security deposits. Thank you. Please raise your hands and let us know that you can help us. And that's where we're going tonight. We're all going home. Please help us send others home.